Hello and welcome back to Let's Play no, that's not Let's Play. Welcome back to Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. I'm Cade161.
I'm Hein 2011.
And today we are going to be hunting, as soon as I get to it, Gypcerous. Actually, we're going to be hunting, it's actually going to hunt two monsters in this video. Quick show off of my other stuff I have equipped right now, my equipment and stuff. Ankato armor and my Wyvern Blade Silver, because this dude's weak to fire.
Rubber burns, typically.
Yeah, well, it's a rubber kind of bird. We're doing two monsters in this video, just kind of another cleanup video, but kind of not. Whatever. Quick show of my items, nothing special. Except for... Yes, I have them. Antidotes. Simply because this thing is poisonous.
It's a poison rubber chicken. Turkey.
That's a good way to describe it. And cutscene, like in a second. As soon as it loads. Okay, next up on the hit list is Gypcerous. Gypcerous is a bird wyvern, is a poison bird wyvern. It is weak to fire, especially on the tail. So that little like rubbery thing, that's the tail. That's what you need to aim for if you can with a fire weapon. Pretty much anything works on it. I don't recommend long range weapons simply because he will sometimes charge randomly, which is his most dangerous attack. I find he will spit poison a lot. So that's something to watch out for. For armor, I either recommend something that's poison resistant, or if you're using a blocking type weapon, an armor that lets you block poison, because normally it cannot. There is a skill that lets you block it, though, as I learned recently. So that's something to do. Beyond that, not much else to say. Gypcerous is slow, and the Gypcerous is slow but awkward because he has a lot of really weird attacks. Once you get used to them, he's not that bad. Actually, one thing I would want to change is I'd like to change Greatsword to Good Plus, simply because it's so slow. Even a Greatsword, even though the Greatsword's slow, you could probably hit him fairly well with the Greatsword. I'd actually recommend that more highly than that is. Everything else works great. He's fairly slow. He's not difficult in the least. And now back to the live commentary. Okay, and we're back. Because here's Gypcerous.
Right there in front of us.
And if you hit a monster before it's where you're there, it'll go in like a stun animation where it's just kind of going, what? Even though you're slashing at it, it doesn't realize you're there. As you can see here, it can get off some nice easy free hits, which is very nice. Gypcerous is fairly easy. He's pretty straightforward, nothing too special about him. He's like kind of like most bird wyverns, like Coot though. He is a bit tougher than Coot. Though admittedly he is slow. I think he's slower than Coot if I remember correctly, at least in normal mode. Gypcerous's thing is, well, he has two things. One, he's poisonous. He will spit poison at you, sometimes in big giant globs. The second part is that he will stun you with a light bulb on top of his head. He will stick it together and then release a light flash which will stun you. The stun animation can either be gotten out of by anything really. You can be hit, you can be just blown back by like wind. Your partner can hit you.
You can rotate the control stick.
Yeah,
really quickly.
Stars will come up your head. It happens a couple times. Stars will come up your head and you have to rotate the control stick really quickly. And if you do that, if you do it really quickly, you get out of it. And here, just showing something really quick. Flash bomb. Do not work on Gypcerous. Well, because he's used to the flash. Just showing that off really quick. Flash bombs are usually a good thing to have, but Gypcerous is useless.
Tail whip. It's super effective.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Gypcerous's backside is pretty dangerous because it has that really nasty tail whip attack. Other thing you can do, like I said, the stun attack animation is not too bad. There is armor to negate it, but I don't recommend it. I find it much easier just to use my attack weapons because the stun is very easy to either negate or make it useless. There's actually two safe places to be when Gypcerous does that stun animation. And so there, it didn't do anything. It stunned me, but then it didn't hit me. You can either be really far away, and I mean like super far away. Mid-range, if you're at mid-range, it will just charge towards you and it will hit you. I can guarantee you that right now. The other place and actually the better place is directly between Gypcerous's legs. And I mean directly, like just standing, like using him as an axis. This is because the two things Gypcerous most commonly does after he's stunned, well, three actually, is either stun again, as stupid as that sounds, he will either spin like this right here, the typical wyvern spin, or he will jump up and flap his wings. And any of these things will wake you up with doing minimal damage. So the Villy being middle is actually really helpful because his most dangerous attacks are spitting poison and charging at you, which he does not do when you're really close, or at least not normally. Anything else? You can break Gypcerous' crystal on his head, which I do not show in this video. Unfortunately, I really wish I had. And when he does that, he can no longer stun you with the animation, with the flash animation.
I believe you also get certain items from it, like
you do.
crystals and nova crystals.
Like crystals, nova crystal. Yeah, those are pretty cool. So that's definitely a good thing to grind on it. As you can see here, I just got poisoned because he pecked at me. But the other thing, I haven't seen this personally, but I've heard reports that if you break the crystal on his head, he will sometimes do a big giant explosion instead of like a explosion. Like he'll light all of his gases, his poison gases on fire with the clicking of his head instead of making light. I've personally never seen it, but I've heard of it. I'm not sure if it's real or not.
That sounds like something else, though.
It's similar to like what Lunastra and Teostra do and stuff, but I've heard Gypcerous can do it too. I could be wrong, but that's just something I've read somewhere. I have no first-hand experience of this. Anything else to really say about Gypcerous? Gypcerous isn't hard, but fairly slow. Rage mode doesn't get too fast. Most annoying thing is that it poisons you. Just bring antidotes, which are fairly cheap. Best place to fight it is probably between the legs, simply because it can't do much to you there. Like I said, it will mainly just spin around or try and flap its wings, or try and use its light screen attack, its light bulb attack thing. Not too damaging. It's pretty much recommended for any sort of weapon. I suppose for Lance you can do the in and out strategy where you just kind of charge in and out, but even that's not that needed. It's only because Gypcerous is so slow. Everything really works against it. Gypcerous is still fairly simple. Nothing too extreme. And I showed it, and I just proved once more, flash bombs do not work against Gypcerous. I'm not sure why I did it a third time, though even though the second time was clearly just at his eyes. Whatever. You cannot cut off Gypcerous' tail as much as it looks like you can. You can actually cut off the tails of other wyverns. Gypcerous is a no-no though.
Most other ones, I don't think you can do it for any bird wyvern.
You can cut off wow. What is it? Why can't I think of the name? No.
Hypnoc.
No. Why can't I think of the name?
Good.
No. Can't I think of it? Why is it? This is annoying me. Garuga! You can cut off Garuga's tail.
And Garuga, yeah. That was about it.
Yeah, that's the only other bird wyvern in existence. I just couldn't remember the name for some reason.
Don't typically fight those though.
No, you don't typically, but Garuga fairly tough. It's by far the strongest bird wyvern.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is nearing down. Like I said, Gypcerous isn't that tough. I'm actually taking more damage than I probably should have at this moment. I've not really else nothing to say about Straight. Like I said, right up close to between his legs, in front of him is probably the safest place and probably the best place to attack him. He can do some nice damage. He can't hit you that easily. I hit fucking Conga. Yeah, he's next. Guess I should mention that his knobby tail, which looks like it's made of pure rubber, is actually very hard and will deflect most sword attacks. And that's something else he would do. He would charge at you and then sweep his tail. I'm only going to be mentioning attacks that he does not show, simply because it's, or unless I have something special to talk about the attack, simply because you can see it, you know he does it, nothing really else to say. Use your eyes, damn it.
Use your eyes.
And I made him trip just as he was about to blast me. And he's mad. I'm not sure why I didn't get hit there. I think I just barely dunked underneath his tail. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. How'd I do that? That was dumb. And you see why. Oh, whatever. To be honest, I have no idea what I'm thinking at this point, because I recorded this like about 3 months ago, and I'm just finally getting around to doing the audio. Because I'm lazy and shit.
You lazy little shit.
Look who's talking.
Shut up. I'm the Slaw King of the Let's Place.
Yeah, you do one every half century.
Mostly just because I don't want to upload this desynced shit.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I have too many problems with that, and I just don't want to keep uploading shit.
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
Gosh.
And he's spinning again. Spin, spin, spin. Spin like a top. And he's weak now. And he does something very strange. I've never seen this happen before. He takes off, which only means he would be running away. He will do this sometimes where he'll just fly around the arena, but usually he doesn't go in any specific spot. Like he went exactly to the spot of takeoff.
And then he runs back, and then he does it for real.
Yes, he does the exact same thing. Goes up, and I've never seen that happen before. I'm not exactly sure what happened. No, oh, that's right. He just does this again. He does it twice in a row, and I've never seen him do that. It was very awkward, actually.
It's just like perp, perp.
Also, shock traps do not work against. Shock traps do not work against him because he's rubbery hide. And this is his most devastating attack, the fake attack, where he will pretend to die. It's pretty much just to catch noob hunters who've never hunted him before, because it's really easy to tell, because as you can see, my hunter count says I have not killed anything yet. So he's just trying to pretend. This is his most powerful attack, but it doesn't do anything.
Gypcerous used flail. Not very effective.
And he just randomly got mad for some reason.
Because he flashed him.
And there's dead.
He doesn't like being flashed.
Gypcerous will only do his flail, that fake death attack when he's low in HP, so that's a good sign that you're weakening him. There is a alternate form of Gypcerous, purple Gypcerous, which is exactly the same thing, but it's just slightly strong. I'm not sure exactly what the difference is between color variations and regular variations. I just know that most color variations are just artificially stronger. Either they have more HP, or they go into rage mode more often, something like that. So I'm not gonna bother with those mostly.
We might as well do the Silver Thalasskull Grathian, because that's always fun to do.
I'll probably do that. Like, difficult quests, I'll probably do it like near the end there instead of just show off all the monsters and then start doing like challenge quests.
Durajong!
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I always had to do a bow and sleep bomb tactic to get him.
I can beat him with longsword.
Even then, it was still pretty damn hard.
But drongs are difficult. They're probably the most.
When you're fighting two at once in the arena.
Yeah, that bitch in hell.
Like my dick.
So getting all the spoils. I keep pretty much everything because you either use it for crafting or money. I don't need money, and I might need it for crafting, so I keep all my shit. Like it does any good for me otherwise. And like I said, we have one more thing to do, and that is Hypnocatrice, which is the last other bird weapon besides Garuga. But Garuga's gonna be its own video because I consider it an actual monster. Unlike these guys, which I kind of consider like half monsters. Nothing special, at least in terms of items. Hypnocatrice's thing is sleep. It will try and put you to sleep. There is armor to resist that, but again, don't find it worth it because there's not that many monsters that can do that. Anyway, I guess I should talk about my armor for once. Actually, I am wearing the Dark Arm Control set. This gives me reckless abandon and increasing my affinity, which is always helpful.
Essentially, critical hit.
Yeah, I use it. I alleviate it to critical hits in Pokemon. The more affinity you have, the higher percent chance you get a critical or double the damage. So it's very useful, which is why I like using my Arm Control armor because it gets it up by 20%. So, which is always helpful. And there should be a cutscene as soon as I get across this log. Come on, get on the log. Okay, next up on the final bird wyvern for a while is Hypnocatrice. Hypnocatrice is a bird wyvern that specializes in sleeping. It will try and shoot sleeping gas at you and make you fall asleep. It's also a problem with agile of all the bird wyverns. There's one more bird wyvern which I think is tougher, but not as agile as this one. It is a lot faster than the other ones we've met so far. It likes to jump around a ton, and it is also it's pretty dangerous because of this. It's really fast, likes to jump at you and just lunge at you. Most dangerous creatures you find are ones that just like try and run at you a lot, because those are the attacks you are really hard to predict and dodge. But then moving on, for armor, there is sleep resistant armor, either that or again just armor that can block unblockable things, because sleeping gas is normally not blockable. For weapons, pretty much everything again. Those a few I marked down some because I feel that they're too slow to actually do anything really well against them. Greatsword is still good, and this time it should be good because Hypnocatrice just jumps around so much more. It does leave itself open several times because it tends to taunt a lot, so that's when you can attack with a greatsword, but I still find the other ones more useful. Beyond that, still fairly simple, follows the basic bird wyvern pattern, still nothing terribly difficult. Alright, and we're back, and now we have to fight a big flowery bird. Hypnocatrice is, I'd say, the second strongest of the bird wyverns, which doesn't amount to much because they're still not that tough of things, but he's much more of a challenge than Coot or Gypcerous, mainly because this thing's fast. He's way faster he's way faster than the earlier two, and he can also make you sleep, which is fairly dangerous condition. He has most of the same attacks as most wyverns. He will spin around, he'll spit stuff at you, he'll charge at you. The one thing he does differently actually is where he will stomp at you. You'll see this pretty soon. He will basically jump at you and try and trap you in his claws. He will also do this multiple times in a row, like right here. This is a signature attack where he will jump at you. He can basically turn a little less than a 90 degree. He can turn basically a little less than a 90 degree and go and jump at you again, which makes it kind of irritating to dodge. But at the same time, if you're behind him, it's fairly easy. You can break his beak. That's the only thing, and I think you can break something else. I don't. No, you can't. Only break was his beak. I'm pretty sure. And also, anytime that charge attack he will do between 1 and 4 times, and anytime he does it 3 times in a row, he will always taunt, which is this right afterward. So if you see him do it multiple times, that's a good sign he might get a few free hits in. He does not have a Ruger's tail attack, so that's nice, but he does have more powerful sleeping attacks, and he can actually hit you. And unlike Gypcerous, he can actually hit you when in between his feet with his sleeping miasma.
Yeah, he can pretty much aim that wherever he wants to.
Yeah, even though it doesn't make any sense, he will still hit you. Like right here, I just got hit by it. And then
you were kind of right in front of him.
Yeah, I know. And then I nearly got wombo combo there.
Wombo combos are always fun.
Oh, annoying. And just for those that don't know, wombo combo is my word for when a monster hits you, then immediately hits you as you get up, in such a way that you cannot recover in any way, shape, or form, and then kills you because of that. And it does happen in this game. This game's pretty notorious for that, because some of the tougher monsters, when they're in rage mode, they can just hit you over and over again with no chance of recovery.
Or they get you in the corner and you can't move, and they just keep hitting you, even though you're still in the invincibility animation, and they hit you right when you come out of it.
Exactly. So it hit me 4 times, so of course it's going to taunt.
Taunt!
And then it hit me. Then it hit me again with its tail.
Bitch slap with the tail.
And I got stunned because I got hit too many times in a row. And just making sure he's not going to kill me immediately. And then just healing up. And here he comes again. You should never try and die. The idea with dodging is jumping is basically to run towards him, but a little bit off to the side, so he can, because like I said, he turns at a little less than a 9-degree angle. That's his maximum turn. He can do less, and you just try and make sure he can't get you in immediately, because it's pretty easy to dodge after that, but it's just the immediate threat of getting attacked that's his problem. And he ran over me like a little bitch. And I paused randomly there. I'm not sure why I paused there. Like I said, I recorded this like 3 months ago, so whatever the hell is happening, I have no idea. Now, you're dead.
You're dead.
Yeah, my partner. That's actually a partner you gave me.
Yes.
Yeah, because I didn't, because I was too lazy to start to raise one up by myself, and you just had one.
Yeah, because I had a head start on this game before you did.
Oh, I technically had a start. You started from scratch and just made it like that, and just made it like that.
Yeah.
I just used my old file from Monster Hunter 2. Now it's time to carve up some bird. and he for some reason didn't see me.
I have this odd tickling sensation. Oh god! My
legs!
They gave out! What happened? Oh, it's this son of a bitch over here. I'm pissed now.
I'm gonna spit sleep miasma at it. I wonder how does Hypnocatrice keep itself from falling asleep from its own miasma?
The same reason a rattlesnake doesn't get poisoned by its own venom.
That's different. It's not a gas. Rattlesnake venom is a liquid. This is a gas. It's a miasma. It's like something he breathes. So he somehow is built immunity to sleeping gas.
Yes. Well, its own sleeping gas. That doesn't mean you can't trank it somehow.
Oh yeah, you can trank it obviously, but it. Oh boy. Spin, spin, spin. I guess okay. I should probably talk about strategies for other stuff. Hypnocatrice, like it's basically like most of the bird weapons, but it's a little bit faster. So some of the strategies don't work as well for other weapons, like with lance or greatsword. It's the stand by the legs and go wail on them is not as good a strategy. I'd say for greatsword, wait until he starts doing that charge attack and then just hit him hard when he stops the taunt.
In the head.
Yeah, definitely.
Always for the head.
Hammer and stuff works fine, I guess, in between his legs, simply because
Aim for the head.
Try to, unless you can't hit
Always
him.
aim for the head.
Unless you can't. What else can I say here? Lance.
Aim to the weak point for massive damage.
Yeah. Lance. I'm not sure what I would say about Lance. Lance I wouldn't recommend too highly for Hypnocatrice because it's so fast and small. I recommend something.
You can always poke it in the face and the crotch.
I know, but at the same time, a shield doesn't stop sleeping miasma, so you'll fall prey to that.
Actually, there is an ability that stops those things.
I know, so if you do use a lance, I suggest using that too. But at the same time, not that many stuff uses this type of attack, so it'd be almost basically simply for Hypnocatrice, which I don't like. I don't like having specific armor.
I didn't quite mean like resist sleep. I mean like you can block like sleep projectiles and poison and shit.
And I paused again for some unknown reason. Again, oh, I guess that would be.
There you go, pausing the game randomly again.
Sorry. I guess that'd probably be a better ability to have with lance armor. So if you have that kind of armor, that's probably a good thing to have for Hypnocatrice.
Yeah, it lets you block abilities like Contour's fire beam attacks too. I think that's like a vital armor when you fight him with a lance, because he can go all over the place and then snipe you with that attack, and it's hard to move with your lance out.
Yeah, if you have that armor, I was not aware that ability existed. I thought I researched this thoroughly, but apparently not. So if you have that type of armor, definitely go for that. Beyond that, not much else would I say. This guy is fast, but he's not terribly difficult. He still leaves himself pretty open. Okay, so I think my RA must have been coming in or something, because I keep on pausing. And he's just taunting randomly, and then he apparently forgets I'm here again. Stupid bird.
Stupid bird. We're gonna carve you up and roast you.
You bring the flamethrower.
I like my birds extra crispy.
I hope you don't mind if it has a few nicks in it and I just broke his beak. Okay, anything else to at least talk about besides that? Hammers work fine. Well, talk about other weapons. Like I said, most basic strategies to try and get between his legs and just try and wear on him. Make him fall over and then hit his head. That'll work well with long swords, dual swords, great swords. Kind of. It's a tad slow, but you can block that right there. So if you have that armor that blocks miasma, use that too. Lance, we want to talk about that. Gun lance, pretty much the same, though I don't recommend it as high. Actually, gun lance is probably better than the lance in this case, simply because it can shoot. And the Lance's ability is to be able to get in and out really quickly with that charge attack, which isn't that useful in this case.
In some cases, I don't think he would like go into you like all 4 times he charges. He'd probably like jump over you, hit you, and be behind you at one point. And he can't. And he can only turn it up to 90 degrees, so you'd be pretty much safe after the first hit.
I'm just saying that the reason the Lance is usually generally good and is useful is that you can either just be a tank and stand and poke, or you can charge and just go in and out, like kind of with the charge attack. Just go through.
Those kind of tactics are typically better for faster enemies, faster monsters.
Or big ones, because then they get hit more. If the Gypcerous is so small, you might get 1 or 2 hits in, and that's not going to do an incredible amount of damage.
Not entirely, because what if it's big and it has a wide radius?
I'm talking about Hypnocatrice specifically.
Oh, shit. Well, I was speaking monsters in general, though.
I was speaking Hypnocatrice. In general, definitely you use the charge attack, but Hypnocatrice is so small, it's hit.
Not so much the charge attack, because the charge attack isn't as efficient as it might seem. I'm just saying, like, the ability to block.
That's definitely a plus. That's why I recommend the Lance a lot, because you can just be a tank.
Yeah, Lances are the best blockers. But...
And now it's weak, because you can tell because the plumages on his butt went down. That means it's weak. And it should be dying soon, assuming he doesn't run me over again.
Like that.
Yeah. Anything else to really comment on for the weapons? Hammer, Hunting Horn. Really, Hunting Horn's not good in single player that much. It's useful.
Yeah, it's more of a supportive move, but it's more of a supportive weapon, but it can still be just as powerful as the hammer, but a little more awkward to use.
Yeah, it's a little more awkward to use, and you don't have the really cool. They don't have the hammer spin attack thing, which is very useful with hammers, which is why
that's more handy if you got like something like the stun, like a stun hammer.
Or if you have something that's taunting or whatever.
Or if you trap it.
Yeah, something like that. That's why I recommend hammers over hunting horns. Hunting horns are very useful in team modes because you can just buff all the other players. But don't recommend it too highly in single player. Same with bow guns. Bows, I wouldn't recommend a bow against Hypnocatrice simply because it's so fast and small.
I don't recommend using ranged weapons against anything in single player because typically you won't do enough damage unless you can really maneuver and you can really aim for the weak spot a lot of the time with all the powerful ammo attacks.
Well, bows are decent.
In addition to having like one of the best guns in the game too, but that's kind of hard to do.
Bow guns I don't recommend at all. Bows can be useful depending on the monster, and also depends on the bow too, because bows with like piercing can hit a monster like 6 times in a row and do like 300 damage per hit. Then it's useful. At the same time, I don't recommend it too highly. Better for multiplayer. Depends on the monster too, though.
Bows might be a little bit better just because there's infinite ammo, but it's still very borderline.
It's still borderline, but it is better than a bow gun. Anyway, that is all for this episode, folks. So see you next time on Monster Hunter Freedom Night. Right now, I'm Kid161.
I'm here in 2011.
And we'll be saying goodbye as soon as my game saves.
Very well.